Standing at 6'1" and weighing just under 170 pounds, Rob Dillingham is going to have to overcome his lack of size to find success in the NBA. But so far in the preseason, Dillingham has been providing a ton of value off the bench for the Minnesota Timberwolves. And going forward, I think Rob has the game and skill to have a consistent role off the bench for Minnesota. Now offensively, the first thing we have to go over is Dillingham's shot making. Last year with Kentucky, Rob shot just under 44% from 3, and his numbers on all his pull-ups were also really impressive. Obviously that shot making is going to be huge for Dillingham at the next level, not only because it puts points on the board, but it also provides floor spacing off the ball, which will make him an easy fit alongside Anthony Edwards and Minnesota's other playmakers.
A lot of cheers and a lot of attention, pretty good defensive.
Now Rob also has the ability to create and make pull-ups off the dribble, and this is where his elevation off the floor plays a big factor, because that's what allows him to rise up and over bigger defenders. We'll see him here turn the corner off the screen to his left, and when he feels that he has enough space, Dillingham is going to take a hard pound dribble and shoot up for this right-left jumper. This is also a tough move and shot here, where he drops down into this between-behind combo to then lower his shoulder and step back off his left foot. And as he's separating back behind the line, notice how Rob is going to turn his hips as he elevates, getting himself angled to the rim. So because the defense already respects Rob as a perimeter scorer, he tends to draw heavy closeouts off the catch, which then gives him the leverage to create these downhill drives. And Rob already has a pretty good feel of reading the defense's momentum. Notice here how Reggie Jackson scrambles hard to Dillingham's right side. So in response, Rob is going to attack into his gravity, creating this clean blow-by and kick-out. Now coming into the league, Dillingham was primarily looked at as an aggressive on-the-ball scorer, but throughout these recent games, I also think Rob has shown some good potential as a playmaker. I wouldn't say he's the next Luka Doncic or Trae Young, but he does play very unselfish and makes the right reads. In pick and roll, he's got the ability to hit these over-the-top hook passes to the screener, as well as snap these tight pocket passes. Plus, Rob's also got the ability to read the weak side of the floor. This is a pretty advanced read right here, where Dillingham is attacking hard to his right, and notice how he's going to pick up and use his eyes to sell this pass to the corner, which pulls these two defenders out of the paint, opening up this dime back to his teammate in the lane. Dillingham is also a very effective passer in transition, and all this comes back to his aggressive on-ball scoring, where he forces the defense to build up a wall, opening up space for his teammates to dive towards the basket.
Airball, zips it inside, and with a layup.
Now offensively, Dillingham's biggest area of improvement right now is going to be his rim finishing. Again, Rob is pretty undersized at just 6'1", plus he doesn't really have that next level explosiveness off the floor. So physically, it's already going to be an uphill battle for Dillingham to become an efficient paint scorer. But I do think there is a few things Rob can improve on from a skill standpoint. First, I would love to see Rob attack the defense's body more in the paint. There's many times where he quickly gathers and avoids contact to rush up an outside finishing angle, but that leads to him calmly getting into these tougher and heavily contested looks. When looking at the best finishers in the game who aren't super big or athletic, pretty much all of them are great at using their body in traffic, being able to step through contact, and create finishing windows all the way in the deep paint. Now Rob did find some success playing off 2 feet in the lane by simply picking up, reading the defense, and pivoting into open space. Now playing off 2 feet isn't always the most dynamic or efficient way to score in traffic, but for Dillingham specifically, I think this allows him to both limit his turnovers, as well as carve out some better looks compared to exploding off 1 foot. And I also think Dillingham has pretty good touch with these in-between floaters, where instead of attacking all the way into the deep paint, Rob can simply stop short and sink these soft looks.
Leaned in and scored.
Now the next thing we have to look at is Dillingham's defense. As a prospect, this was the biggest concern many teams had, and in my pre-draft breakdown, I thought his defense was a real sore spot. First, because Rob is naturally undersized as a defender, especially at the NBA level. But second, I also thought his intensity and focus was pretty inconsistent. But from the film I've seen so far in the preseason, I think Dillingham's overall effort has been great. When he's locked in, Rob can be a very pesky perimeter defender, where he's easily got the foot speed to step out and pressure the ball, to then move his feet and keep himself in front. I also think Dillingham's pick and roll defense has taken a major step forward. where he now has the intensity to step out and meet the ball, which can speed up the offense and draw some turnovers.
Changing on the fly here. And an offensive foul.
Rob's screen navigation has also gotten much better over the past few months. And while I do think his strength and stability can improve when fighting through contact, his speed and effort still allows him to recover when he's knocked out of position. And finally, I also think Dillingham's awareness off the ball has improved, where for the most part he's been pretty sharp on his off-ball rotations. Now, having said that, Dillingham still has some limitations when defending the ball. First, he can't get physically overwhelmed when matched up with bigger wings and guards, where the offense can simply lower their shoulder and drive through his frame.
Dillingham takes it right inside, lays it up and in.
And there's still some holes in Rob's defense off the ball, where at times he does fall asleep and give up easy buckets. So when looking at Dillingham's overall game, I think his defense is going to be the biggest deciding factor to his playing time, because offensively, I think Rob has the game to be really effective both on and off the ball. He's an effective floor spacer, he's got the on-ball skills to create his own offense, plus he's also showing that he can be a reliable decision maker. But when the Timberwolves enter a competitive playoff series, it's going to be really hard to hide Dillingham defensively, and I see teams relentlessly targeting him when he's on the floor. But over the last few months, Rob has made some big improvements, so maybe there's a possibility that he can find a way to hold his own. If you enjoyed this breakdown, please like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you think of Rob Dillingham's game. The Kid's here.